हाँ रिकॉर्डिंग वेबकास्टिंग चल रहा है सर. Hello. Hello.
Yes.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Rohit, and I come from a company called Ketto. Ketto is an online crowdfunding platform, and we are about 7 years old. Now, what Ketto does is that we've partnered with more than about 200 hospitals throughout India, and Ketto ends up raising funds for underprivileged patients. Now, what Ketto has done is that we've not really gone and invented the wheel again. Okay. Now, when I'm talking about crowdfunding stands for getting small amounts of money from a lot of people. Okay. Now, let me give you a simple example. So, say if there is a bus driver, okay, and his 5-year-old son is suffering from cancer. Now, he takes his son and he goes to Apollo. He goes and he's talking to the doctor. The doctor tells him, saying that his son is diagnosed with cancer, and the cost of treatment is, say, for example, 20 lakh rupees. Now, since he's a bus driver, he cannot afford 20 lakhs, can he? No, correct? So that's when the doctor tells them, okay, saying that why don't you take your child, okay, and go to the MSW department, okay? MSW department is where they get counseled in terms of how they can arrange funds. Now, Ketto, we've got teams throughout India. We've got teams in Delhi, Chennai, Hyderabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Cochin, Jaipur. Now, when that bus driver takes his son and then he goes to the MSW department calls up Ketto. Now, what Ketto does is that our team will go there, okay? We will analyze the documents of the patients. Now, once the patient documents and all have been seen, analyzed, now Ketto basically conducts a photo shoot of the patient at the hospital premises itself. Okay? Now we will conduct a photo shoot. Now once the photo shoot is conducted, okay, our Ketto team interviews the parents of the child, which is the bus driver. Correct? Now why is that done? Now that is basically done in terms of writing the content for the article. Correct? Now where content will be like, well, I'm a bus driver, I earn about 20,000 rupees per month, I've got 5 people in my house, my ghar ka kharcha is 25,000 rupees, wife works as a maid. So the parents are interviewed and the content is put down together. Now once the content is put down together and when the images after the photo shoot has been completed, both these things are combined and an online campaign is made for the patient. Now, whenever I'm talking about a campaign, each and every campaign is a case of individual person. Correct? Generally, when we talk about campaigns are in a generic manner. But at Ketto, whenever I'm talking about campaigns, every campaign is of an individual case of the bus driver's son, for example. Now, when Ketto creates this campaign is passed on to a digital marketing team. Okay? Now, Ketto is partnered with Facebook and Google and Twitter, etc., whatnot. Now, once the campaign is put together, the campaign is amplified via various forms of social media. Now, Ketto has got a very huge donor database outside of India. We get a lot of donations from the UK, US, Australia, Gulf countries. Now, as and when the funds are raised for that particular case, for that bus driver's son, okay, now say if the cost was about 20 lakh rupees, now say if 20 lakh rupees have been raised, Ketto transfers the funds directly to Apollo's bank accounts. We do not transfer the funds into any patient's accounts. Okay? Now, I would also like to show you an example. So this is typically what a Ketto campaign looks like. Okay, so as you can see, you have the title over here. Now, this is how the photo shoot is basically conducted of the patient. Okay. Now, you can see that the campaign goal is about 20 lakh rupees, out of which 13 lakh 80,000 has been currently raised. So this is a campaign which is live right now, okay, and people are currently donating to this campaign. Now, if I were to give you a few more details, so there are about 1,600 people who have come and donated towards this campaign. Now, this is from throughout the world. So just imagine, now this is an underprivileged child, okay? And there have been 1,600 people, unknown people, correct, who have come together and ended up raising funds for this child. Now, if there were no platforms like this, underprivileged children like that do not have any chance. Okay? Now, each and every campaign has got a deadline. So this campaign has got only about 7 days left. Now, as I scroll down, I will find the beneficiary name. So this baby's name is Jaideep. Now, here is where the entire content for the article for the case is written. Okay? So we talk about the mother and father. Now I can read more, and here. Just see how underprivileged the father is, mother is, and the child, and their desperateness in terms of trying to raise funds for their child. So this is the entire article. Look at the father's eyes. This is the entire article. Okay, now what Ketto believes is, Ketto believes in complete transparency. So Ketto believes in complete transparency. Now, if I want to see the documents of this case, I can just give a click on it, and then I can see that this case is from Hyderabad, Rainbow Children's Hospital. Okay, here, okay. People can actually pick up your phones and call up this particular additional medical documents also for people to come and see and verify. Okay. Now, another thing, now if I were to tell you the concept of fundraising or the concept of donations, say about 10 years ago, if I were to donate about 1,000 rupees for a particular cause, I will give away 1,000 rupees. But that guy, whatever he does with that 1,000 rupees is his bad karma. I am not bothered, right? Correct? I feel that I have done a good deed by donating 1,000 rupees. वो उसका क्या करता है, that is his own bad karma. Correct? But now times have changed. People have become very, very smart. People basically want to know कि मेरा वो 1,000 rupees का क्या हुआ है. Correct? So that's why Ketto basically believes in updates. Okay? Now we basically have a team which is dedicated, okay, just for taking updates. Now, when I'm talking about updates, there is a team which is constantly in touch with the patient and with the doctor. Okay. Now, since this campaign is currently on, okay, updates over here will only talk about, saying that we have reached 50% of our goal, we need to raise more money, XYZ. Okay. But I will also show you some of the ended campaigns where what kind of updates are posted. Now, what kind of updates are posted is where we are saying, well, you know what, funds have been raised, okay, surgery has been planned for, 20th of February, okay. So now, whenever an update is posted, that gets sent to all those 1,604 people in the form of an email and SMS. All the people who have donated towards that campaign get an email and an SMS saying ki dekho, Jaideep ka surgery is planned for 20th of Feb. So they are updated regarding it. Okay. Now say 20th of Feb, Jaideep's surgery is done. Okay. Now say 4 months down the line when Jaideep is fine and when he starts going back to school, I basically send our own videography team back to the patient's house. Okay. We will go and take videos and pictures of the child, going to school, of the child playing with his friends. And then we will come back on this campaign and post that update over here, which again goes to all the people who've come and donated. So that basically completes the entire circle. So if you think about it, the journey of a donor, he came across Jaideep's campaign on, say like Times of India website. Okay, so he probably saw an ad, and then he gave a click on that ad, and then he went through the documents, he went through the content, went and donated. Now it would take probably about 4 or 5 months, okay, for our team to continuously keep on posting updates. And then when the final update is posted, that, well, you know what, Jaideep is fine and Jaideep's going to school now and thank you very much. So once again, that completes the entire circle. So this is something where Ketto firmly believes in posting updates, in posting documents where everything is transparent. You can also see the amount of funds raised, okay? You can also see all the people who donated towards it, and people can also come and comment. So here, now you can see, people who've come over here and donated. So you will find the top donors, okay? Now at Ketto, you can basically donate in various currencies also, okay? ऐसे नहीं है कि only in terms of USD, but you can come and donate in various currencies. Now that's how Ketto works, okay? Does anybody have any questions until now?
This will take a long period to have the treatment started.
Correct. So when we are talking about crowdfunding usually works for only planned surgeries. So say for example, if there is an urgency that within the next 3 to 4 days, like you want about 10 lakh rupees, crowdfunding is not meant for that. So when we're talking about transplants or we're talking about onco, that's when, for example, that's when crowdfunding comes into place.
Having a hematological malignancy. So it's an acute condition.
Correct.
So at that time, it cannot be waited for 2-3 months that it can be without the treatment.
Correct. So this case, if I'm not mistaken, this case began about 2 weeks ago. So within 2 weeks, about 13 lakh rupees have been raised, and one of the and plus the thing at Ketto is now, say like whatever amount has been raised, okay? Yes, I mean our partnering hospitals go ahead with the treatment, and Ketto also does partial payouts to them. ऐसे नहीं कि जब तक 20 लाख रुपए होता है तब तक तुम्हें पैसा नहीं मिलेगा, correct? So doctors will tell us, saying, well, you know what, Rohit, transfer 50,000, transfer 1 lakh. As and when the funds get raised, Ketto will transfer the funds to them.
And what happens if the fund, suppose the patient dies and 10 lakh ही खर्चा हुआ, बाकी 3 lakh बचा है?
Correct. So that has happened many times with us. Okay. Say if the campaign goal is 10 lakh rupees, 10 lakh rupees have been raised, 10 lakh rupees have been transferred, and the cost of the treatment for the child was only about 7 lakhs, and the patient has died. Whatever 3 lakhs.
Cost was less.
Correct. Excess money is there. Correct. Now these funds are basically utilized for another patient, okay, with the consent of the donors. Okay. So our updates team will come back and post an update over here, okay, with the discharge summary of the previous case, okay, saying ki Jaideep ka cost of treatment was only about 7 lakh rupees, 3 lakh rupees have been left, okay. Now updates team will also post the link of the patient number 2, saying ki dekho ek aur patient hai, correct, your funds will go to this patient, correct. And then we will basically give our donors a time frame of, say, about 7 days, okay, that if you want a refund, okay, you can claim for a refund within the next 7 days, else the funds are going to go to another patient. 99.99% of the times the donors don't say no, because when they will give a click on the other patient's link, they can also come and see the documents and everything like that.
So this has the answer to the question. If the data shows that some funds are always left, then they can be used for some acute cases.
What is the minimum time period you need to raise the fund?
So, see, I mean, if I were to talk about minimum time period, I would just like to rephrase your question. In terms of minimum time period to understand whether the campaign will be successful or not is 3 weeks. इसमें कैसे होता है कि I mean, not all campaigns will end up getting funded. I don't just want to show you the greener side of things, correct? I mean, when I'm talking about success rate is, it usually will vary between 50 to about 65%. correct? So say for example, if like HCG is going to give me 10 cases, correct? It's not possible for Ketto to fund all the 10 cases. It can happen and it cannot happen. Correct. Now, if I were to say, I mean, like in terms of Ketto, what is our job role? Our job role is to click the best of the best pictures, is to put together the best of the best article, and to amplify it to the best of the best audience out there. Now, then apart from that, there are like various things which are like not in our hands, right? Correct. Now, through our analysis, what we found out that what basically makes people come and donate. Okay. So firstly is that whenever people see a Ketto ad, okay, now people don't like wake up in the morning thinking कि आज मुझे donate करना है. They don't go on Google and like start like searching. So they will probably come across Ketto's ad on say like makemytrip.com or timesofIndia.com or this or that, wherever. Now the thing that makes people click on the ad firstly is the image. Okay, is the image. Correct. So firstly it's the image, secondly it's the title of the article. Now this is something which we've seen in the past 2 or 3 years, okay, where what basically makes people come and donate. So firstly is the image, then it's the title, and then when they give a click on it, then they come to this page. Then they will go through the article, they will go through the documents, they will see kitna paisa raise ho gaya hai, how many people have come and donated. Now think about 13.8 lakhs have been raised, 1,600 people, unknown people for this child, they have come and donated. And one of the most surprising things at Ketto which we've seen like lately is that we've got 25% of people who come back to Ketto in terms of donating, repeat donors. And why is that? Is because Ketto believes in complete transparency. You have all the partnering hospital documents, how much funds have been raised, updates are being posted constantly on it, okay, and that completes the entire circle.
How does this usually work? I mean, your employee expenditure, your overall expenditure?
Ketto keeps a part of the funds raised.
Oh, so that amount also comes from the funding?
Yes.
And how do you justify it?
So, to the donor. Correct. So, see now, firstly, whenever Ketto is going to advertise any campaign, now say for example, if I've got a case from Apollo, if say this case is from there, now when I get the case from there and when we put together the campaign, so Ketto is basically investing money in Facebook for doing the paid ads, correct? Now say for example, if I've invested about 1 lakh rupees in terms of paid advertisements, I have invested 1 lakh and in return I got only donations of 10,000 rupees, correct? So that entire loss which is there, I am not going to go to Apollo and tell them saying, well, you know what, I have lost 90,000 rupees, now I want you to give it to me, correct? So that's why Ketto charges a flat fee of 13% of the funds raised. From the funds raised. From the funds raised. Hospital doesn't have to pay us anything. Patient doesn't have to pay us anything upfront. Now, also another example to give you is that if I were to post a article on timesofindia.com, say like digital space, right? Each and every article costs us about 1.5 lakh rupees, and that gets displayed for only 4 days. So if you come to think about the cost of the media, the cost of the media is very, very high. And then the things that come after that, which is that it will be there on the first page only for 4 days. After the 4th day, it will be inside hidden somewhere where public does not go, correct? Now, Ketto is ending up investing about 1.5 lakh rupees on that article, so we definitely need some ROI from it where X amount of funds should be raised for the patient. Ketto should also keep some, get its investment back, and plus in terms of admin costs. That's where Ketto charges a flat fee of 13% of the funds raised. So, since we're talking about fees over here, Ketto basically works as a two-way platform. Okay? Firstly is where Ketto is doing everything. Okay? Ketto is going and conducting the photo shoot. Ketto is going and interviewing the parents. Okay? Ketto is going and conducting the photo shoot. Ketto is going and interviewing the parents. Ketto is creating the campaign, okay? And once that campaign is created, Ketto is investing money in terms of advertising it, correct? And then, so basically Ketto ends up doing everything for the patient. So that is the first type of model that Ketto has, okay? Another type of model is basically the DIY, do-it-yourself model, okay? So anybody out there can just log on to ketto.org, create their own campaign, upload their own photos, upload their own content, okay? And then you will basically get your campaign link like this. And that is something which you can directly end up sharing on Facebook, WhatsApp, Twitter, your first circle of friends, second circle of friends, third circle of friends. That's how you can end up raising funds. Yes, open for all. Now for that, Ketto is charging only 5% of the funds raised. Why? Because Ketto is not doing anything apart from giving you a platform, correct? So Ketto works in a two-way platform. Now in terms of advertising campaigns, okay, what we've seen in the past 4 to 5 years is where people end up donating to only pediatric cases, just like how you said, correct? So people end up donating to only pediatric cases. Now, why is that? Is because whenever they see a child, they will feel much more for the child than a 35-year-old man, who's got XYZ problems. Correct. So again, when I'm talking about success rate is usually higher in terms of pediatric cases than in terms of adults. Now, I'm not saying that crowdfunding does not work for adults. Okay, it definitely does work for adults. But one of the most crucial things to tell you that in terms of crowdfunding, fortunately or unfortunately, like this industry, that's how it is. Like every campaign has got to have the emotional quotient in it. If it does not have the emotional quotient, crowdfunding is basically all about storytelling. So fortunately or unfortunately, that's how like this industry is. So like everything has got to be in the form of storytelling, correct? So coming back to saying that I'm not saying that crowdfunding does not work in terms of adults. To give you a simple example, a couple of months ago, we had got this case from Bangalore of a 28-year-old woman. Husband is no more, mother is bedridden, okay, and the child until today does not know that where his mother is. So this has got a very, very strong story. I mean, I should not be using words like story, or I should not even say that it is appealing, correct? But that campaign ended up raising about 19 lakh rupees out of 22 lakhs. So it's all about understanding this industry, how it works, because once you're in it, yes, at times, we have to choose, well, you know what, I'm sorry, I can't take this case, I can take this case. Why? Because, of course, Ketto is a for-profit, we also have to look out for our losses, tomorrow, if Apollo is like going to give me 20 cases, I'm sorry, I can't take all 20 cases. I would, pick and choose. Correct. If I can assure you that, well, yes, this case will do good, then I'll take it from you. Anyone have any questions regarding this?
Apart from children, what are the other categories which are able to raise money?
So at Ketto, we have a lot of NGOs also who end up raising funds on Ketto.
No, I'm telling you.
What kind of other illnesses?
What kind of
Other illnesses
patients or diagnosis actually?
So well, we are talking about transplants. We are talking about onco. We are talking about heart diseases. Okay, so anywhere, any type of a disease, which has got fatally ill, results. So what we've seen is that the crowd ends up donating towards patients wherever there is a sense of urgency or where the patient can die. You can't have a fundraising campaign for a child who's suffering from, say, like pneumonia or dengue. People don't end up donating towards campaigns like that. And plus, if you come to think about it, there are so many doctors over here, like I don't need to tell you, but there are so many cases in terms of onco out there. There are so many cases in, terms of heart diseases, in terms of pediatric cases, that, even if the India's 2-3 biggest crowdfunding platforms come together, even we 2-3 of us cannot solve a problem which is so big. Any questions, anyone?
Girl child raises more money than male child?
Yes, sir. That is something which we've seen. So, in short, that is what Ketto is all about. And once again to tell you that we've partnered with more than about 200 hospitals throughout India. You talk about it, and then we definitely work with them. So we work with Apollo, we work with Global, we work with Narayana, we work with Kokila Ben, various hospitals. We've come up to a point where Ketto is raising anywhere between 12 to 14 crores per month. 12 to 14 crores per month only in terms of the healthcare sector. And that's how we are seeing many more doctors getting in touch with us, many more hospitals trying to get in touch with us, because slowly people are trying to understand that yes, there is something called as crowdfunding, and unknown people can come and donate. Now, another aspect to tell you in terms of fundraising, the inception of Ketto was mainly because of one of the biggest factors was that in terms of acquiring a donor, say about 10 years ago, the cost of acquiring a donor itself was 50% of the donation. What I mean by that is that, say, let's talk about an NGO called as CRY. Everybody's heard of CRY, right? Yeah. Now the cost of acquisition for a donor for CRY was 50% of the cost of the price of the donation. So if they are getting 1,000 rupees from a particular donor, 500 rupees was spent in terms of acquiring that 1,000 rupees. Correct? So that's where Ketto has got that down from 50% to 13%. And then plus, if you come and create your own campaigns, that comes up to about 5%. So that is the change in the entire market, that where we've got your 50% cost of acquisition down from 50% to 13% and to 5%. So that's what Ketto is all about. Anybody have any questions?
You named so many big hospital names.
Yes, sir.
Ketto is working the same for all the hospitals, no? Whether it's a small scale hospital or anything, no?
Yes, as long as it fits our requirements. I mean, as I said,
It has to be there.
So,
For the patient.
yes, correct. I mean, as long as it fits in our requirements, which is in terms of transplants, onco, heart surgeries, wherever there is any sense of urgency, and in terms of pediatric cases. Now, when I'm talking about people coming and creating their own campaigns on Ketto, there is no age bar to it. Okay, anybody can come and create campaigns on Ketto.
For anyone. For anyone.
Yes,
Anybody, for anyone.
any cause also. Any cause also. Or plus, even when people come and create their own campaigns on Ketto, ऐसे नहीं है कि इनका advertising होता नहीं है. Okay. Now Ketto has been around since the past 7 years. Okay. Ketto has got organic campaigns, which is where people come and create their own campaigns. They also get amplified. They also get amplified to a very, very large audience, which is not just Indian, but it's also foreign, NRIs. So campaigns get amplified, and then we have seen, where an organic case, ends up getting so much of donations and ends up getting so much of traffic, that we have got in touch with the patients and told them saying ki yes, तुम्हारे campaign में दम है, we will do paid advertisements for it. That also happens.
Are there any cases where the people have contributed more than, you have a limit, some 20 lakhs is so, like,
Yes.
there could be some over subscription also for the event. Is there a case?
So we've had cases like that in the past where, say, the document which has been given to us is, say, about 10 lakhs, and then because of the complications, okay, estimate has basically increased from 10 lakhs to 15 lakhs, correct? So that's when we tell the doctors saying, give us the updated cost estimation letter. Now, once we get that updated cost estimation letter, we don't just come and post it here. We post that as an update. So it goes to all the previous donors also. because the previous donors at times come and track the campaign. तो ऐसा नहीं तमिल होना चाहिए कि I mean, like when I saw it 4 days ago, campaign goal was 10 lakhs. Now I'm seeing it, now it's 15 lakhs. So we post it as an update where the doctor says, ki, well, you know what, due to XYZ complications, the cost has increased and now it has become 15 lakhs.
My question was like, there could be so catchy campaign that people have donated what is the limit and over and above that. There could be some exceptional cases. पता नहीं?
नहीं होता है. I mean,
वहाँ पर क्या हो जाता है?
नहीं कैप नहीं होता है. Now say for example if there is a campaign goal of 10 lakh rupees, okay, and say about 9.9 lakhs have have been raised. Sometimes somebody, if they come and donate 50,000 rupees to the campaign, you cannot stop it. तो जितना भी fundraise हुआ है, that gets passed on to the doctors, I mean to the partnering hospitals, and then what we've started doing now, which is still in the testing phase, is where we've started collecting the bills of the patients. Okay. Now, why we are collecting the bills of the patients is because that is also something in future where we are going to show our donors ki dekho, Jaideep is out now, okay, and these are his bills. You can give a click on this link and check the total cost.
Transparency.
Rohit, this figure seems inflated, 19, 20 lakh and all.
Hmm.
Is it to adjust all these kind of things because you are not matching the 100% target?
So it is roughly.
Adjust this?
No, it's a cost estimate.
That is okay, but you are not able to match the 100% target. Like 20 lakh required, you are able to generate only 13, 14 lakh.
No, this campaign is currently live.
It's still going on.
This campaign is currently live. It's got about 7 days left.
In any case, 100% is like very rare to achieve.
No, it's not very rare.
50%. 50% of the time they achieve.
50%.
It's not rare.
This is achievable.
So like
So they don't adjust. ऐसा ही है ना सर?
Yeah, of course.
something is there.
No, of course not. Why will Ketto get in touch with the doctors and tell them saying कि sir आप थोड़ा सा inflate कर दो? I don't see that.
Okay. So why not like this that if you generate 100 like 20 lakh
हाँ.
and sponsor that patient to some other hospitals where it can be done in 15 lakh only? Because there are hospitals.
So Ketto basically does not Ketto.
That's absolutely true.
That is absolutely true.
It's not into that business.
Exactly. Ketto.
You are facilitating
Ketto.
that hospitals.
No.
See, I'll tell you one thing.
It's only fundraising,
Work ethics.
nothing else.
Ketto basically does not refer any hospital into any patient. He, well, you know what, don't do it here, you go and do it there.
But you are getting
It's
patients
not
from
Hmm?
you are getting the patients from the hospital only.
That's true.
Hmm.
At the same time, don't you feel that it's quite inflated? The cost of it is quite inflated.
Yes,
It looks
that
like
is my point.
Hmm.
Second point, you are getting
So-
only Hindu
so
patients.
nobody is there to check on that particular budget which has been
But
estimated cost.
Right.
If a doctor is
It's not
there, they
inflated
can
up
put
to
in
high.
comments that
Sir,
it's
one of-
inflated.
Jigar bhai,
Sir, one of my relative got stem cell transplant in Sterling recently. It really costs 18 to 20 lakhs.
થાય છે. 7 lakhs તો મારું
And
ન હતા.
Allogenic-
not only for this case,
allogenic
we are
transplant.
talking in general.
General the
Is there
18
anybody
lakhs.
to have a check on that whether the estimated cost is okay or not?
Yeah,
So that see what will happen since it is put in public domain. It is,
So
people will always
you can always
find out whether it is-
always pick up the phone and call up the doctor and talk to him.
And also the comment section.
Yeah,
can go and
you can always put your comments over there.
The campaign.
So Rohit,
If
I
it is
reframe my
strong,
question.
Hmm.
Now just tell me, what is your minimum capping? Like for a patient, what should be your this limit? Like is 5 lakh can also be there? Or it
No,
is
they are not
10 lakh?
capping it. They are not capping it.
We are not capping anything.
Go on.
You are not a catchy patient required. You are not you are not getting donations for other patients. You require what is the minimum capping you have?
Minimum amount in terms of fundraising,
Yeah,
it's always 3 lakhs minimum.
3 lakh and above.
Yeah.
So below 3 lakh you are not going to pitch it.
No. Why? Because Ketto is investing money in terms of advertising, right? So if the
non-advertising part,
non-advertising that does not have any cap.
that answers.
Because if it's 3 lakhs, Ketto is investing money in terms of advertising it. And Ketto in terms of putting any campaign into like momentum and trying to get traffic on it, Ketto has to invest minimum of 1 lakh rupees on it in terms of getting traffic.
So it is not paid.
No, paid.
It is the paid.
Yeah.
But what about the other donors? Those who are regular donors, they would know about the Ketto. And they would
Correct,
definitely
correct,
pay,
correct.
try to help people.
Of course, of course.
There are people.
There are people who come and donate.
Paid advertisement.
They, so what we do is our like digital marketing team has got audiences bucketed into various segments, okay, whether it is existing ones or it is completely new ones. Now, correct. Now, to tell you something technically, now say all these like 1,604 people which are there. Now, when this campaign gets over, our digital marketing team does not retarget them at least for the next 6 months. Correct. 6 months के बाद ही इनको like retarget करते हैं, because we don't want to hammer them with campaign. Then they will think एक बार दिया है तो अब ये पीछे ही लग गया है. So that is the kind of policy which we always follow. That anybody who has come and donated once, they will be targeted only after 6 months again.
Will you raise this funds with online platforms only or offline also? Like you have a team and people go and like earlier Helpage India used to do. Do you have that offline team as well?
So, as I said, when I'm talking about offline, okay, offline is very, very expensive, and it's not that effective. Now, say for example, now this campaign link, if I were to put it on WhatsApp and like send it to you, it is very easy for you to give a click on it and then come to the page. If I put this link in this like newspaper, तो तुम्हें वो type करना पड़ेगा, correct? So such kind of mediums do not work. And then if you're talking about like door to door and going and doing these things, that is where the cost of acquisition of the donor is 50%. Why? Because you have to pay these people to go out there in the sun and go and like knock doors and convince them and then like get things done.
Is there any benefit to the donors in terms of income tax? Do you provide any certificate?
ATGs nahi. No. ATGs are only provided by NGOs. Ketto is a for-profit. Yeah.
So how do you identify the suitable this patient? It's the hospital who gave you the.
Yes.
So your non-medical campaigns are allowed in Ketto? So just to give you an example, can I say मुझे तो सोडा पीनी है ऐसे चाहिए?
When Ketto started about 7 years ago, so there was one person who tried to crowdfund. Why? Because he wanted to order a pizza. और किया उसने.
और आ गया?
Yeah. हाँ?
और आ भी गया दूल्हा?
नहीं, 2 लाख रुपए पिज्जा के लिए.
The interesting thing was there was a campaign in US on a crowdsourcing funding. That's why I asked this question.
So I'll just like to show you.
I can put any campaign. I can say I want to drink.
Okay, see, have you guys heard of this?
Soda. And then I want some money. People may donate. And interestingly, not only emotional campaigns work. There are funny campaigns.
See, this is in terms of animals. This is in terms of a charitable cause. Now, another interesting thing which I just want to show you is, have you guys heard of the Hyperloop?
Yeah.
Correct? So, this team ended up raising about 35 lakh rupees on Ketto, okay, where Elon Musk, the person who's planning for the Hyperloop, Elon Musk, who's the owner of SpaceX, yeah? Yeah, correct, Tesla as well. So, he had basically come up with a concept that he had chosen about 12 to 15 colleges throughout the world, okay, where they had to come up with the prototype of the Hyperloop. Okay? Yeah, and that was BITS Pilani, which was from Goa. Now they ended up raising about 35 lakh rupees, okay, and they created that entire prototype of the pod, and that pod was carried to Washington, Seattle, okay, and it was displayed in front of Elon Musk. This team.
Has it been done for sports person, some promising sports person?
Yes, sir. So, see, at the end of the day, the core of crowdfunding is what? Trying to generate small amounts of money from a lot of people. Wherever it's a good cause, of course, crowdfunding will be there.
Like our Narendra Modi has started for the maritime persons, 15 lakhs donation. Once that person gets 15 lakhs, then the fund goes to the another one who has not completed that 15 lakhs. It is there.
What is the name of that?
Those who are maritime.
Perfect. So I'm actually like running out of time. I've got a flight to catch. Anybody have any questions?
And 5 minutes for question and answer.
Yeah, please.
So any questions for 5 minutes?
It could be for a particular movement towards a particular disease. In the case, suppose if somebody is working for a particular illness.
So-
Congenital deformity is there, and it's suppose a scoliosis campaign. For all the scoliosis patients, a fund is being raised. So
Correct.
Ketto works for that.
Understood. So I'll tell you one thing, starting a generic campaign, okay, for X number of patients does not work. This is something which we've done in the past, and that's why we are doing it case by case. Because people don't want to donate funds to a kitty.
Random.
Correct.
But
But
that is allowed in the general.
NGOs mein, it is, I mean, you can come and create your own. That is fine. But Ketto will not advertise it. Why? Because we have done it in the past and we know that it doesn't work. See, these days, people when they come and donate, they basically want that one-on-one connection to the donor. Ki, well, you know what, I have donated towards Jaideep and now Jaideep is fine. But if you tell them to come and donate to a generic kitty, then that does not work. Plus, I've had like a lot of doctors, come and ask Ketto saying that, well, like, can we raise funds in terms of infrastructure? I want to build this like hospital. Nahi hota hai. People don't donate towards such things.
How do you start with like knowing all this? Now, suppose next time we have a patient
Okay.
and you want to actually do it. How do you start?
So you just have to give us the patient's phone number. That's all, and then we'll take it forward.
Non-advertisement. They want to generate on their own.
On-
Not on their own.
How to contact you? That's okay.
How do we contact?
So for that,
Like suppose after
I will-
the lecture we want to put it into practice.
I will be sharing my cards.
so you have to be
We have to leave the patient's details.
Yes.
Yeah, I definitely will be sharing my card. And
Call you up.
yes, yeah,
You can write me email or
yeah.
then you upload that particular
And
details.
you can also create your own campaigns.
So see, if you can also create your own campaigns, you just log into ketto.org, correct? You come here, then you click on this button. That's all. Create your own campaign.
We will not be doing any marketing.
I'm sorry?
like photo shoot and all that. That you have to do on
Then you have to
How does Ketto add value? Are you displayed somewhere or?
Yes, we do. As I said. So, as I said, now Ketto does not do paid promotions to it, but Ketto will do free promotions, which is where Ketto has got its own Ketto community, where we've got a lot of followers on Facebook, a lot of followers on Instagram, WhatsApp, yeah.
When they advertise.
When they advertise it's 30%.
When you advertise, is there some minimum thing
It's
you look for?
13%. No.
But where is your office based? They will come for the photo shoot. From where you will come?
So
Which city?
correct. So now basically Ketto is Bombay based, okay, and we've got offices everywhere else as well. Ahmedabad, I'm actually looking to start, but once I get a good number of cases from here, then it makes sense for me to hire a team here.
So that was the purpose of bringing him here. आना है इधर. 150 or more hospitals.
Correct.
And people are ready to fund for you. So, and Harshit was there. So that was the purpose
That
of
was the
bringing all
purpose,
of them
okay.
together.
Great. Thank you very much. You guys have been a lovely audience. Thank you. Thank you. I'll just share my card.
So, Rohit,
Yes, sir.
आपको बहुत
Oops, sorry.
बहुत
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Sorry.
Sorry.